Most people over 60 believe walking every day is protecting their body. But what if I told you that walking alone might actually be speeding up muscle loss, weakening balance, and quietly increasing fall risk? That sounds impossible. Until you see the science. Today, we're revealing the 5 most important strength movements older adults almost never do, and why missing just one could slowly steal independence without warning. Stay with me, because number 1 changes everything. For decades, walking has been promoted as the safest and smartest exercise for adults over 60. It's gentle on the joints, easy to access, and feels productive without being overwhelming. Doctors recommend it. Fitness experts praise it. Millions rely on it as their primary form of movement. And to be clear, walking does have benefits. It improves circulation, supports heart health, and helps maintain mobility. But there's a problem most people never hear about. Walking alone does not build the kind of strength your body actually needs as it ages. Strength loss doesn't happen because people stop moving. It happens because they stop challenging the right muscles. Your body has one muscle group that quietly determines how well you age: the glutes. These muscles don't just shape posture, they protect the spine, stabilize the hips, control balance, and prevent falls. Yet normal walking barely activates them. Research has shown that during casual walking, less than 1/3 of the gluteus maximus is engaged. That means most of your strongest muscle is essentially asleep during the activity you rely on most. Over time, this leads to a dangerous illusion: staying active while still growing weaker. That's how people do everything right and still lose stability year after year. Muscle decline rarely announces itself. It doesn't come with pain at first. It shows up quietly. Standing from a chair takes longer. Stairs feel intimidating. Balance feels uncertain, especially on uneven ground. Eventually, people adapt by moving less, holding onto railings, or avoiding situations that feel risky. That's not aging. That's compensation. The most alarming part? The people who are the most cautious are often the ones losing functional strength the fastest, because the body only keeps what it's asked to use. The exercises in this video are not extreme. They don't require machines, heavy weights, or gym memberships. They are grounded in real movement, the kind your body depends on every day. These movements restore communication between your brain and muscles, rebuild stability, and protect independence. We're counting down from number 5 to number 1, and each exercise builds toward the next. What starts simple becomes transformative. And by the end, you will understand why walking alone was never enough, and what actually is. Exercise number 5. Step-ups. The real-life strength test. Most people fail without knowing. Stepping up seems harmless. It's something you've done your entire life: curbs, stairs, buses, doorways. Because it feels ordinary, most people never train it intentionally. But after age 60, stepping up on one leg becomes one of the clearest indicators of functional strength and fall risk. If stepping up feels unstable, it's not because you're getting older. It's because the muscles responsible for lifting and stabilizing your body weight aren't being trained anymore. And walking doesn't fix that. Step-ups demand coordination between your glutes, hips, core, and nervous system. They require you to generate force through one leg while keeping your body balanced and upright. This mirrors real life: climbing stairs, stepping onto a curb, or catching yourself during a stumble. When these muscles weaken, your body compensates by pulling from the knees or lower back. That's when joint pain and instability creep in. Training step-ups reverses that pattern by reteaching your body how to rise using the muscles designed for the job. Studies on older adults consistently show that practicing controlled step-ups just twice per week dramatically improves single leg strength, stair confidence, and balance without high impact or heavy loads. Participants didn't just get stronger. They moved with more confidence and less hesitation. That confidence matters, because fear of falling often causes more limitation than weakness itself. Use a low-step platform or stair about 6 to 10 inches high. Place your entire foot on the surface. Press through the heel as you rise. Avoid pushing off with the back leg. Move slowly and deliberately. Use a wall or chair for balance if needed. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 repetitions per leg, 2 times per week. No momentum, no rushing. Every controlled repetition reinforces strength and stability. Each step sends a message to your nervous system: I am capable. Exercise number 4, glute kickbacks. the small movement that fixes posture and back strain. This exercise looks almost too easy. A small leg lift behind the body doesn't seem powerful. That's why most people either skip it or rush through it without focus. But this movement retrains one of the most important patterns lost with age: hip extension without spinal strain. As glutes weaken, the lower back takes over. That's when stiffness, fatigue, and pain become constant companions. Glute kickbacks correct that by reactivating the muscle that should be doing the work. Every step you take should be powered by your hips, not your spine. When the glutes stop firing correctly, the body compensates with tight hip flexors and an overworked lower back. This creates inefficient movement patterns that increase injury risk. Glute kickbacks restore proper muscle sequencing. They teach the brain to recruit the glutes first, not last. That one change improves walking efficiency, posture, and balance. Clinical research involving older adults shows that focused glute activation exercises significantly improve hip control, walking confidence, and balance in just a few weeks. No weights, no machines, just precise movement with intention. The nervous system responds quickly when it finally receives the correct signal. Stand behind a sturdy chair or countertop for support. Keep your spine neutral. Lift one leg straight behind you without arching your back. The movement should be slow and controlled. Hold briefly at the top, squeeze the glute, then return. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions per leg for 2 to 3 sets. Height doesn't matter. Control does. This movement rebuilds posture from the ground up. Exercise number 3, glute bridges. Strength, stability, and relief without standing. Many people underestimate exercises done on the floor. They assume effectiveness requires effort that looks impressive. But one of the most powerful movements for restoring hip strength and reducing back discomfort happens lying down. The glute bridge reconnects the body's posterior chain, the muscles responsible for standing, walking, and lifting safely. As people age, the brain often forgets how to activate the glutes without involving the spine. This leads to poor lifting mechanics and chronic discomfort. The glute bridge retrains that pattern in a safe, controlled position. It strengthens the hips, supports spinal alignment, and improves posture without stressing the joints. This is foundational strength, the kind everything else builds on. Clinical trials involving adults over 55 have shown significant improvements in mobility, posture, and lower back comfort after incorporating glute bridges consistently. These changes occurred without medications, injections, or invasive treatments. The body responds when movement is purposeful. Lie on your back with knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Keep feet hip-width apart. Tighten your glutes and lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from shoulders to knees. Avoid arching your lower back. Hold briefly, then lower slowly. Perform 12 to 15 repetitions for 2 to 3 sets. This movement teaches your body how to support itself again. Exercise number 2. Seated band abductions, the invisible strength that prevents falls. This movement looks almost insignificant. Sitting in a chair and gently pressing your knees outward doesn't feel like real exercise. Many people dismiss it within seconds. But that quiet, controlled action strengthens one of the most important muscle groups for aging safely, the side glutes. These muscles don't help you lift heavy objects or move quickly. What they do is far more important. They keep you upright, balanced, and aligned every time you take a step. And when they weaken, falls become far more likely. Every time you walk, your body briefly balances on one leg. During that moment, the side glutes stabilize the pelvis and keep your torso from tipping. If these muscles are weak, your hips sway side to side. That sway transfers stress to the knees and lower back and makes balance recovery slower. This instability often develops silently. People don't notice it until they feel unsteady turning, stepping sideways, or walking on uneven ground. Walking alone does not strengthen this muscle group. Research in aging and balance consistently shows that hip abduction strength, the ability to press the legs outward, is one of the strongest predictors of fall recovery in older adults. Not reaction time, not walking speed, not flexibility. Side glute strength determines whether your body can correct itself when something goes wrong. That makes this exercise one of the most important tools for preserving independence after 60. Performing this movement seated removes balance demands and joint stress, allowing the muscles to work without compensation. It's accessible, safe, and highly effective. Because the body isn't focused on staying upright, the nervous system can focus entirely on activating the correct muscles. That makes every repetition more precise and more beneficial. This is targeted strength, not random movement. Sit upright in a firm chair with your feet flat on the floor. Place a light resistance band just above your knees. Keep your knees hip-width apart. Slowly press your knees outward while keeping your feet planted. Hold the widest position for 1 to 2 seconds, then return slowly. Perform 12 to 15 repetitions for 2 to 3 sets. The slower the movement, the more control and strength you regain. Strengthening the side glutes improves knee alignment, reduces lower back strain, stabilizes walking patterns, and lowers fall risk. It also improves confidence, which plays a major role in how people move as they age. Fear causes hesitation. Hesitation causes instability. Strength removes fear. Most fitness routines focus on what's visible: arms, legs, posture. The side glutes work quietly in the background. Because they don't burn or fatigue dramatically, people assume they're not important. But these muscles are constantly working when they're strong and completely absent when they're not. That's why rebuilding them changes everything. Exercise number 1. Bulgarian split squat. The most powerful functional exercise after 60. The name alone scares people away. It sounds advanced, athletic, and inappropriate for older adults. But that misconception has cost countless people years of strength and confidence. This movement, when modified correctly, is one of the most effective ways to restore single-leg strength, balance, and coordination, the exact abilities most likely to decline with age. Avoiding it doesn't keep you safe. Avoiding it keeps you weak. Real life is rarely symmetrical. You step, turn, reach, and recover on one leg constantly. Walking itself is a series of controlled single-leg balances. When one leg becomes weaker, your body shifts load to the stronger side. That compensation overloads joints, creates imbalances, and accelerates wear and tear. The Bulgarian split squat addresses this directly. This exercise activates both the gluteus maximus and gluteus medius while challenging balance, posture, and coordination at the same time. It trains strength and control together, something most exercises fail to do. It also improves proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position in space. That ability declines with age, but can be restored through specific movement. This is how confident movement is rebuilt. Many people avoid single-leg exercises because they feel unstable. But instability isn't a reason to avoid training, it's a reason to start carefully. When single-leg strength disappears, people rely more heavily on walkers, canes, and railings. Over time, that reliance becomes permanent. The goal isn't to avoid challenge. It's to introduce the right challenge safely. Physical therapists who specialize in older adults use this movement to correct gait issues, restore hip symmetry, and rebuild confidence. When introduced gradually, it helps people regain abilities they assumed were gone forever. It's not about depth. It's about control. Even small ranges of motion create powerful neurological and muscular changes. Stand about 2 feet in front of a sturdy chair or bench. Place the top of one foot behind you on the chair. Hold onto a wall or another chair for balance. Slowly bend the front knee and lower only as far as comfortable. Keep your chest lifted and knee aligned over the foot. Press through the front heel to return to standing. Start with 6 to 8 repetitions per leg for 2 to 3 sets. This exercise teaches your body that it can support itself again. Each controlled repetition reinforces strength, balance, and trust in your movement. People don't just get stronger, they move differently. They hesitate less. They rely less on support. They walk taller. That confidence changes how they live. Strength loss accelerates when the body is never challenged in meaningful ways. Gentle movement has its place, but it cannot replace targeted strength work. The goal after 60 isn't to move more. It's to move better. And that requires exercises that reflect real life. The body doesn't reward intensity anymore. It rewards repetition, control, and recovery. Small amounts of the right movement done consistently outperform sporadic bursts of effort every time. These exercises don't exhaust the body, they rebuild it. That's the difference between training for appearance and training for independence. What all 5 exercises have in common? Each movement activates muscles walking ignores. Each one restores communication between the brain and body. Each one supports balance, posture, and daily function. Together, they create a foundation strong enough to support life, not just exercise. This is not about staying young. It's about staying capable. getting out of a chair, climbing stairs, catching yourself during a stumble. These are not cardiovascular tasks. They are strength tasks. When strength fades, independence fades with it. But strength can be rebuilt at any age with the right movements. Walking is beneficial. It supports circulation, mental health, and mobility. But it cannot be the only movement you rely on. Walking maintains motion. Strength training preserves function. You need both. Strength after 60 is not about pushing harder. There's a belief that aging means doing less, moving slower, and accepting decline as unavoidable. But that belief is outdated and incomplete. The human body doesn't stop adapting after 60. What it stops responding to is random movement without purpose. Your body doesn't need extreme workouts. It doesn't need punishment. It needs clear signals. Signals that say, this muscle still matters. This movement still matters. This function is still required. That's how strength returns, not through intensity, but through intention. Walking feels productive. It feels safe. It feels familiar, but safety without strength is fragile. Walking maintains motion, but it does not train the body to resist gravity, control imbalance, or recover from sudden shifts. That's why people who walk daily can still struggle getting out of a chair or climbing stairs. That's why balance issues appear without warning. The problem isn't walking. The problem is relying on it alone. Most falls don't happen during exercise. They happen during normal life, stepping off a curb, turning too fast, reaching awkwardly, or catching a toe on uneven ground. In those moments, strength decides the outcome. Strong glutes stabilize the hips. Strong side glutes correct imbalance. Strong single leg control allows recovery. Without those, the body has no backup plan. That's why these movements matter more than mileage or step counts. Loss of strength rarely feels dramatic. It happens gradually. One adaptation leads to another. Holding onto railings, using arms to stand, avoiding stairs, sitting more often. Each adjustment feels reasonable. But over time, those adjustments become permanent. The goal isn't to fight aging. It's to interrupt that quiet decline before it becomes identity. Each exercise in this series fills a gap walking leaves behind. Step-ups restore rising strength. Kickbacks reconnect hip extension. Bridges rebuild posterior support. Seated abductions stabilize the pelvis. Split squats reintroduce single leg control. Together, they create a system. Not a workout, a foundation. And foundations determine how long a structure stands. Muscle strength isn't just about fibers. It's about communication. The brain must remember how to recruit the right muscles at the right time. That's why slow, controlled repetitions are so powerful. They rebuild neural pathways that faded through years of underuse. When those pathways return, movement feels easier, smoother, and safer, even before major strength gains occur. Confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from capability. When your body proves it can support you, your mind relaxes. That's why people who regain strength move differently. They hesitate less. They trust their steps. They stop bracing for failure. This shift affects how people live, not just how they exercise. The body was designed to adapt across the lifespan. What accelerates decline is not age, but the absence of meaningful challenge. These exercises are not about doing more. They are about doing what matters. And what matters now is preserving function, stability, and independence. No medication restores balance. No supplement rebuilds muscle coordination. Those abilities are earned through movement that reflects real life. Standing up, stepping up, balancing on one leg, recovering from imbalance. Train those and daily life becomes easier again. Ignore them, and walking alone won't save you. It doesn't matter when strength declined. What matters is that it can return. The body responds at 60, 70, even 80 and beyond, when movement is specific, safe, and consistent. This isn't about reversing time. It's about reclaiming ability. And ability changes everything. Options to travel. Options to live independently. Options to say yes to activities instead of avoiding them. Strength removes limits that people mistakenly accept as permanent. That's why this matters. Keep walking, enjoy it. Use it for circulation and mental clarity, but don't stop there. Add strength. Add intention. Add movements that challenge the body to support itself again. That's where real prevention begins. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider before beginning any new exercise or fitness program, especially if you have existing medical conditions or concerns. Perform all movements within your comfort level and stop immediately if you experience pain, dizziness, or discomfort. This content does not replace personalized medical guidance. Thank you for spending this time investing in your strength, your confidence, and your independence. If this video helped you see movement differently, make sure to support the channel by liking and subscribing. New videos are released regularly, focused on strength, balance, and aging well without fear. Your next chapter isn't about slowing down. It's about moving smarter. Stay strong, stay steady, and we'll see you in the next video.